The Grand Council chamber had never been so full. Representatives from all 27 council species were present, along with delegates from the 5 protected species that had joined the Human Alliance. At the center of the chamber stood President Michelle Jackson of Earth, waiting to address the council. 3 months had passed since the great battle against the Harvesters. In that time, humanity had led 3 more successful defenses, each time pushing the enemy further back. The galaxy was changing, and everyone knew it. High Counselor Vextar called for silence. This special session will now begin. We have called President Jackson to address recent events and the future relationship between Earth and the Council. Michelle stepped forward. She had been elected president just 1 year ago, never expecting to represent humanity before an alien council. High Counselor, members of the Council, she began. I come before you not to apologize, but to explain. You have misunderstood humanity from the beginning. She gestured to the screens around the chamber, which displayed images of human history, both its wars and its peacekeeping efforts. You study our history and concluded that humans fear war. You were wrong. What humans fear is not war itself, but the necessity of it. Council member Zilrix shifted uncomfortably. Yet you built weapons in secret. You violated our trust. We built defenses because we understood something you didn't, Michelle replied. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Sometimes, peace must be protected through strength. Grand Admiral Stephen Parker entered the chamber. He had commanded the combined human and allied fleets in the most recent battle against the Harvesters. His uniform bore the marks of recent combat. The Harvester main fleet has been defeated, he announced. Their forces are retreating from all Council space. Murmurs spread through the chamber. This was news even to many Council members. How? Vextar asked. Their numbers were superior. We studied their tactics, Stephen explained, found patterns in their attacks. Then we set a trap at their main staging area. Without Council approval, Security Chief Thrax added sharply. Without Council approval, Stephen agreed, but with the support of 6 former protected species who chose to stand with us. From the back of the chamber, Ambassador Zilith stepped forward. The slender, blue-skinned alien represented a coalition of species that had been classified as prey by the Council. My people were told for centuries that we lacked the temperament for defense, Zilith said. The humans showed us otherwise. They trained our people, shared their tactics, and fought beside us. Michelle looked around the chamber. The old system of classification, predator and prey species, must end. It nearly cost us all everything. Vextar was silent for a long moment. Finally, the High Counselor spoke. I have served on this council for 300 years. In that time, I have seen many species come and go, but I have never seen a species so thoroughly misunderstood as humans. The High Counselor stood. It seems we made a grievous error in our assessment. Humans do not fear war. They understand it better than most. And in understanding it, they work harder for peace. Michelle nodded. Earth requests a new type of membership in the Council, not as a protected species, but as a full defensive partner. I support this request, Krizak said, stepping forward. After the battle, he had been promoted for his initiative, despite disobeying orders. The humans have proven their worth. In the days that followed, the Council voted to accept Earth's new status. The classification system that had divided species for centuries began to change. Grand Admiral Parker established training programs for all Council species in defensive warfare. The knowledge humans had gained through their long history of conflict now served to protect peace. In her private chambers after the vote, President Michelle met with High Counselor Vextar. You knew all along, didn't you? Michelle asked. That your assessment of humans was wrong. Vextar's ancient eyes held a hint of sadness. I suspected, but our system is very old and changes slowly. Sometimes it takes a shock to create progress. And now the galaxy knows the truth about humanity, Vextar said. You do not fear war. You simply understand its true cost better than anyone. As Michelle looked out at the stars from the Council station, she thought about humanity's journey. From being misunderstood and underestimated to becoming leaders in galactic defense. The Council had claimed humans feared war, but now everyone knew the truth. Humans fought fiercely precisely because they valued peace so deeply. Admiral Nicol Davis stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Defender, watching the tactical display with focused eyes. 6 months had passed since the incident at New Hope. In that time, everything had changed. Harvester fleet approaching Sector 7B. Admiral, her tactical officer reported. Their numbers are larger than we predicted. At least 50 ships. Nicol didn't show any fear. Alert all Allied forces. Engage according to Plan Delta. The Harvester Hive Director watched the approaching battle from its command ship. These humans were not behaving as expected. Instead of fleeing or waiting for Council protection, they had assembled a substantial fleet. Even more surprising, ships from 4 other species now flew alongside the human vessels. These creatures were classified as non-aggressive, the Hive Director said to its advisors. Council data indicated minimal resistance. The Council assessment appears to be incorrect, one advisor replied. These humans fight with unexpected skill. The battle began as the 2 fleets engaged. The Harvester ships were larger and more heavily armored, but the human-led alliance moved with surprising coordination. Earth ships took the front positions, absorbing the initial assault while their allies attacked from the flanks. On a Council observation vessel at a safe distance, Council military liaison Krizak watched with growing amazement. The reptilian officer had been assigned to coordinate with human forces, though in reality, the Council had expected him simply to observe the humans' defeat. Impossible, he muttered as he watched the tactical display. The human fleet was not only holding its ground, but actually pushing back the Harvester advance. His communication console chimed. Admiral Davis appeared on the screen. Council liaison Krizak, we could use the Council forces right about now. Krizak hesitated. The Council fleet is positioned to protect the core systems if your defense fails. It won't fail, Nicol replied firmly. But we could end this faster together. The battle continued for hours. Human ships took heavy damage, but kept fighting. Their tactics confused the Harvesters, who were accustomed to easy victories against isolated colonies. They adapt quickly, the Hive Director observed with growing concern. Each time we change our approach, they counter it. A massive explosion lit up space as one of the largest Harvester ships was destroyed. On the Defender's bridge, a cheer went up from the crew. How? Krizak asked from his observation post. That ship should have been impenetrable to your weapons. We studied their armor, Nicol explained. Found a weakness. Humans are good at that. As the battle progressed, something unexpected happened. The Council ships, led by Krizak, moved forward to join the fight. They had been ordered to stay back, but watching the humans fight so bravely had changed something in the Council officer. This is Council liaison Krizak, he announced on an open channel. Moving to support human forces, the tide of battle turned decisively. With the added firepower of the Council ships, the Harvester fleet began to retreat. They're pulling back, Nicol announced. All ships maintain formation, but do not pursue beyond Checkpoint Alpha. When the fighting ended, the combined fleet had destroyed 23 Harvester ships. The rest had retreated into deep space. In the aftermath, Krizak's ship docked with the Defender. The Council officer came aboard with a mix of confusion and respect on his face. I do not understand, he said to Admiral Davis. Your species was assessed as fearing conflict. Nicol smiled slightly. We don't fear war, Council liaison. We just understand its cost better than most. Your tactics, Krizak continued. They were unusual, but effective. Thousands of years of human warfare, Nicol replied. We've had plenty of practice. Krizak seemed troubled by this. The Council has seriously misjudged your species. Yes, Nicol agreed, but today proves we can work together when needed. As Krizak prepared to leave, he paused. The council will not be pleased that I disobeyed orders to maintain distance. Tell them you made a strategic decision, Nicole suggested. After all, together we cause more damage to the harvesters than the council has managed in 50 years. After the council ship departed, Nicole received a secure transmission from Earth. It was General Baker. Well done, Admiral, the general said. The harvesters are retreating across multiple sectors. It's just the beginning, Nicole replied. They'll be back with more ships. And we'll be ready, General Baker assured her. The council can no longer ignore what happened here today. Humanity has proven itself. Undersecretary Alan Morris waited nervously outside the council chamber. News of the battle at New Hope had spread quickly throughout the station. Now, the full council had called an emergency meeting to address what they called the human deception. The massive doors finally opened, and Alan was led inside. All 27 council species were represented, their seats arranged in a large circle. In the center stood High Counselor Vextar, the oldest and most respected member of the council. Undersecretary Morris. Vextar's voice echoed in the chamber. You stand before us to explain humanity's actions. Alan straightened his back. High Counselor, I stand before you to defend humanity's right to survive. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Council member Zilrix spoke up. Your species was granted protected status. You were given appropriate defenses for your development level. Appropriate. Alan couldn't keep the edge from his voice. The defenses you approved would have left our colony defenseless against the harvester attack. The council would have responded. Another member called out. In 48 hours, Alan replied. By then, the colony would have been lost. We have records of this happening to other protected species. High Counselor Vextar raised a hand for silence. This is troubling. How did humans obtain such records? That's not important, Alan said. What matters is that humanity will not be sacrificed. We value the Council's friendship, but we will defend ourselves with or without your approval. Security Chief Thrax stepped forward. We have evidence that humans have built an entire fleet in secret, ships with weapons beyond approved levels. This violates your membership agreement. Yes, Alan admitted. We did. Because we discovered your strategy of using outer systems as buffer zones. The chamber erupted in angry shouts. Vextar called for order. You misunderstand our intentions, Vextar said once the noise died down. The Council protects all member species according to careful calculations and resource allocation. Alan took a deep breath. Then explain why the Narration were abandoned to the harvesters 3 years ago, or the Tellarites before them. Silence fell over the chamber. Alan knew he had struck a nerve. Those were unfortunate losses, Vextar said carefully. The Council must sometimes make difficult decisions for the greater good. Humanity will not be one of those unfortunate losses, Alan declared. We request that our status be changed from protected species to full defensive partner. Laughter came from several council members. Impossible, one said. Your species lacks the temperament for warfare. Alan smiled slightly. I think recent events have proven otherwise. Just then, the chamber doors opened, and Captain William Grant entered. He commanded Earth's first official combat flotilla, which had been revealed after the New Hope incident. Pardon the interruption, Captain Grant said, but I bring news. 3 harvester ships attacked the Mibari colony in Sector 7C. Council forces were not expected to arrive for 3 days. The Mibari are not your concern, Thrax snapped. Perhaps not, Grant replied, but we received their distress call. My flotilla responded and destroyed the harvester ships. The Mibari colony was saved. Stunned silence filled the chamber. You defended another species? Vextar asked, clearly confused. Of course, Grant said simply. They needed help. Alan watched the council members' reactions. Some were angry, others confused. But a few, including representatives from other prey species, looked at the humans with new respect. The Council will need to discuss these developments, Vextar finally said. Until then, humanity's status remains unchanged. After the meeting, Alan and Captain Grant walked through the station's corridors. How did the Midbari react? Alan asked quietly. With gratitude, Grant replied. And they're not alone. 3 other protected species have reached out to us. They want to form an alliance outside Council control. Alan nodded. The Council has misunderstood us from the beginning. They thought our desire for peace meant we feared war. A dangerous mistake, Grant said. One the Harvesters will soon learn as well. As they walked, Alan noticed other aliens watching them with new eyes. The word was spreading. Humans didn't fear war. They were ready for it. Alarms blared across the colony on New Hope, the furthest human settlement from Earth. Victor Rodriguez, the colony governor, rushed to the control center where screens showed 3 unknown ships entering the system. What are they? He asked the monitoring officer. Unknown design, she replied. But they matched the descriptions of Harvester scout ships. Victor's heart raced. Send the distress signal to the Council. Then alert Earth. Already done, sir. Council forces say they'll respond in 48 hours. Victor slammed his fist on the console. We'll be gone by then. What about our own defenses? We have the approved defense grid and 1 patrol ship. Against those vessels. She didn't finish the sentence. Just then, another alert sounded. A ship had just jumped into the system, but this wasn't a Council vessel. It was the Phoenix, officially registered as an Earth research vessel. Captain Laura Phillips stood on the bridge of the Phoenix, looking at the enemy ships on her display. Her vessel appeared to be a simple science ship on the outside, but that was a carefully crafted disguise. All hands to battle stations, she ordered. Activate all systems. Her crew moved with practiced efficiency. Hidden weapon ports opened along the Phoenix's hull, revealing guns that no research vessel should have. Captain, we're being hailed by the colony, her communications officer said. Put them through. Governor Rodriguez's face appeared on screen. Captain Phillips, your ship isn't authorized for defense. You should evacuate while you can. Laura allowed herself a small smile. Governor, there's more to the Phoenix than meets the eye. Protect your colony. We'll handle the Harvesters. The 3 Harvester ships turned toward the Phoenix, clearly surprised by its approach. They had expected an easy target. Weapons locked. Captain, her tactical officer reported. Fire. The Phoenix's hidden weapons fired bright beams of energy that cut through the lead Harvester ship. The other 2 ships immediately changed course, moving to flank the Phoenix. They're fast, Laura noted, but we've trained for this. The battle was intense but brief. The Phoenix moved with surprising speed and agility. When it was over, 2 Harvester ships were destroyed, and the 3rd was fleeing back toward deep space. On the colony, people cheered as they watched the battle on their screens. Governor Rodriguez couldn't believe what he'd just seen. How? He asked when Captain Phillips contacted him again. That shouldn't have been possible with Council-approved technology. It wasn't Council-approved, Laura admitted. Earth has been preparing without their knowledge. 3 days later, a Council ship finally arrived. Council Security Chief Thrax was furious when he learned what had happened. This is a serious violation of your membership agreement, he hissed at both Governor Rodriguez and Captain Phillips. Research vessels are not permitted to carry such weapons. If we had waited for your help, this colony would be gone, Laura said firmly. Thrax's scales darkened with anger. The Council will need to reevaluate humanity's status. You were trusted to follow our guidelines. Governor Rodriguez stepped forward. With all due respect, your guidelines would have left us defenseless. We have discovered records of other protected species who were lost while waiting for Council help. That is classified information. Thrax snapped. How did you access it? That doesn't matter, Laura interjected. What matters is that we saved this colony. The Harvesters are a real threat, and we will defend ourselves. Thrax looked from Laura to Victor and back. You don't understand what you've done. The harvesters will return in greater numbers now, and the Council may not be able to help the species that has violated our trust. After Thrax left to make his report, Laura received a secure transmission from General Baker. "Good work, Captain," the general said. "But the game is up now. The Council knows we've been building our own defenses. What happens next?" Laura asked. "We stop hiding," General Baker replied. "Operation Reveal begins now. Return to Earth as soon as possible. The real fight is just beginning." As the Phoenix prepared to leave New Hope, the colony's people lined up to watch through viewport windows. They had seen something important. Humans would not wait quietly to be sacrificed. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter was quiet, or so it appeared from the outside. Inside one of the largest asteroids, a massive chamber had been hollowed out. Workers in spacesuits moved around a half-built ship. This was not supposed to exist. General Samantha Baker watched from an observation deck as the secret shipyard hummed with activity. 6 months had passed since Earth received the warning about the harvesters. 6 months of frantic, hidden work. "How many ships now?" she asked. Dr. Eric Johnson, the lead weapons developer, checked his tablet. 15 completed, 12 more under construction. We've improved the design based on the technology we reverse engineered. Samantha nodded. The Council had shared some technology with Earth, but humans had figured out much more by studying alien ships and adapting the principles to their own designs. "And the Council suspects nothing?" she asked. "We've been careful," Eric replied. "All official reports show we're building exactly what they approved, and no more." The door slid open, and a junior officer rushed in. "General, Council Observer Clix's ship just entered the solar system. They'll be here in 3 hours." Samantha kept her face calm. "Initiate Protocol Dark. All ships back to hiding positions. Tell the lunar base to prepare for inspection." "Yes, General." After the officer left, Eric looked worried. "This is the 3rd inspection in 2 months. They're getting suspicious, or someone is feeding them information," Samantha said. "Either way, we need more time." 3 hours later, Samantha greeted Council Observer Clix at the lunar base. The alien had a body like a tall human, but with 4 arms and skin that shifted colors with its mood. Right now, it was a suspicious orange. "General Baker," Clix said, "the Council appreciates your cooperation with these routine inspections." "Of course," Samantha smiled. "We value the Council's guidance as we develop our modest defense capabilities." They walked through the lunar base, showing Clix exactly what the Council had approved: 3 small patrol ships and basic defensive systems. "And your asteroid mining operations?" Clix asked. "I understand they have increased significantly." "Yes," Samantha replied smoothly. "Earth needs resources for our growing colonies, all purely civilian purposes, I assure you." Clix's skin rippled with blue patches, a sign of doubt. "The Council has noticed unusual power signatures in your asteroid belt. Our mining technology requires significant energy," Eric added quickly. "We'd be happy to show you the technical specifications." Clix seemed to accept this explanation. After a few more questions, the alien departed. Back in her private office, Samantha contacted Lieutenant Martinez, who had returned to Earth after her mission to the Council station. "That was close," Samantha said. Clix almost demanded to inspect the asteroid belt directly. "We can't keep this hidden forever," Martinez replied. "Sooner or later, they'll discover what we're building." "We just need a few more months," Samantha insisted. "The fleet will be ready then." Martinez looked concerned. "I've been analyzing the data from other protected species. The pattern is always the same. The Council restricts their defenses, claiming it's for their own good. Then when the harvesters come, Council forces are always delayed or unable to respond." "Convenient," Samantha said bitterly. "There's something else," Martinez added. "I found references to a species called the Narration. They were like us, classified as peaceful. But apparently, they built hidden defenses too. When the council found out, they were publicly censured and lost all support. What happened to them? They disappeared 3 years ago. Their homeworld is now a barren rock. Samantha was quiet for a moment. We won't share their fate. Keep working on those defense systems. And tell Dr. Johnson I want those new weapons installed on all ships as soon as possible. After the call ended, Samantha looked at the map of human space. 5 colonies, plus Earth. All in what the Council called Sector 7B. All in the path of the Harvesters. Let them think we fear war, she whispered to herself. They'll learn the truth soon enough. Ambassador Richard Powell stood at the giant window in his new office on the Galactic Council station. It had been 2 months since Earth had been officially invited to join the Council as a protected member. The view of space was beautiful, but Richard felt uneasy. Something was wrong with this arrangement. Ambassador, Intelligence Officer Chen is here to see you, his assistant said through the comm system. Send her in. Lisa Chen entered the room with a small data device in her hand. She had arrived last week, officially as a cultural advisor. In reality, she was one of Earth's top intelligence officers. Sir, I found something you need to see, she said quietly. She placed the device on his desk and activated it. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, with various sectors highlighted in different colors. This is the real map of Council space, she explained. Not the official one they shared with us. Richard looked closely at the map. What am I looking at? These red areas. Lisa pointed to several sections at the edges of Council space, including Sector 7B where Earth was located. These are what they call containment zones. Containment of what? Lisa touched the device again, and a new image appeared. A massive ship with an unusual design. It looked almost organic, with spines and protrusions that seemed to serve no clear purpose. The Harvesters, she said. The Council doesn't like to talk about them, but I've been gathering bits of information from various sources. They're a species that lives on the edge of known space. They consume resources from planets, all resources, including living things. Richard felt a chill run down his spine. And we're in their path. Yes, the Council's strategy is to sacrifice outer systems to protect their core worlds. They'd been doing this for centuries. Just then, the door chimed. Council Security Chief Thrax entered without waiting for permission. The reptilian alien's yellow eyes scanned the room, and Lisa quickly shut off the hologram. Ambassador Powell, Thrax hissed. I hope I am not interrupting. Not at all, Richard lied smoothly. Officer Chen was just briefing me on cultural matters. Thrax's tongue flicked out briefly. I came to inform you that the Council has approved limited defensive capabilities for your colony on Proxima Centauri B1 patrol ship and a small ground defense system. Thank you, Richard said. Though we requested 3 ships and a full defense grid, the Council believes this is adequate for your needs, Thrax said. Your species' peaceful nature was taken into consideration. Too many weapons might tempt you to use them unwisely. After Thrax left, Lisa spoke urgently. Sir, I've made contact with representatives from other protected species. Some have been in the Council for centuries. They confirmed my suspicions. What suspicions? 3 protected species have been completely lost in the past 50 years. The Harvesters consumed their worlds. The Council did nothing. Richard's face hardened. We need to warn Earth. There's more, Lisa continued. I found names of other species that should be in the historical records but aren't mentioned anywhere now. I think they were also sacrificed. Richard walked back to the window and looked out at the stars. How long do we have? Based on the Harvester movement patterns, 2 years at most before they reach our sector. Richard made a decision. Send everything you found to Earth through our secure channel. Tell them we need to accelerate the defense plan. The Council will object if they discover we're building beyond their approved limits. Then they must not discover it, Richard said firmly. Not until we're ready. Later that day, Richard attended a council meeting. As he listened to the representatives discuss trade routes and cultural exchanges, he watched their faces. Did they know they were sending his species to die? Or was it just business as usual for them? When he returned to his quarters, he found a message waiting for him. Earth had received their warning. The response was simple. Defense Plan Omega authorized. Time to show the galaxy what humans are really made of. 3 weeks had passed since the first meeting with the Galactic Council. Commander Alex Carter watched as Dr. Catherine Wright, Earth's leading expert on alien psychology, tried to explain human history to Council member Zilrix. It wasn't going well. You see, humans have fought wars, yes, but we strive for peace, Dr. Wright said. Zilrix's 4 eyes blinked in a pattern that suggested amusement. Of course. All prey species eventually learn to avoid conflict. It is how you survive. Alex noticed Dr. Wright's jaw tighten. Prey species. A simple classification. Zilrix waved one of his thin arms dismissively. Species that evolved by running and hiding rather than fighting. There is no shame in it. Major Frank Daniels, the military attaché who had joined the mission last week, leaned close to Alex. They've completely misread us, sir. Alex nodded slightly. The council had spent days conducting what they called species assessment, testing humans with simulations, studying their responses to various scenarios, and reviewing the historical information Earth had shared. Somehow, they had reached all the wrong conclusions. Later that day, Alex met with his team in their secure room. The walls were lined with a special material that blocked all known forms of surveillance. They've classified us as docile, Dr. Wright said, frustration clear in her voice. A prey species with minimal aggression potential. Lieutenant Martinez pulled up a holographic display. I managed to access some of their assessment files. The Council uses an aggression index to categorize all species. She pointed to a chart showing various alien species ranked on a scale. They put humans way down here, just above the Trelans, a species that literally has no natural defense mechanisms. How did they get it so wrong? Major Daniels asked. Human history is filled with warfare. Dr. Wright shook her head. They interpret our history differently. They see our peace treaties and international organizations as signs of fear, not as hard-won progress. They view our reluctance to fight as inability rather than choice. Alex studied the chart. What happens to species at the bottom of this scale? Martins brought up another file. They're designated as protected species, given minimal defensive capabilities, placed in safer sectors of space. Safer? Major Daniels raised an eyebrow. Relatively speaking, Martinez continued. The Council divides galactic space into zones. Some are better defended than others. Dr. Wright pointed to a section of the display. According to this, Earth and our new colonies have been placed in Sector 7B. It's not exactly a prime location. Alex leaned forward. What aren't they telling us about Sector 7B? The next day, Alex requested a meeting with Zilrix, bringing only Lieutenant Martinez with him. Council member Zilrix, we appreciate your ongoing evaluation of humanity. Alex began carefully. But we have concerns about our designation. Zilrix made a gesture that seemed conciliatory. Many new species feel this way at first, but our assessments are very thorough. We understand Sector 7B borders unaligned space, Martinez said. We would like more information about potential threats. Zilrix's tone changed slightly. There are always rumors of pirates and raiders, nothing the Council cannot handle. Then we request additional defensive capabilities for our colonies, Alex said. Zilrix's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. That would not be advisable. Species at your development stage often misuse advanced weapons. For your own safety, we provide what is appropriate. After the meeting, Alex and Martinez walked through the station's central garden, a place they knew was less likely to be monitored. They're keeping us defenseless, Martinez whispered. But why? I think I know, Alex replied. We need to contact Earth immediately. Tell Admiral Ellis that we need to send Dr. Wright and Major Daniels back with a complete report. What will you tell them? Alex looked up at the artificial sky of the station. The truth. The Council isn't protecting us. They're using us as a buffer zone against something they don't want to fight themselves. And they think we'll just accept that, because we fear war. Yes, Alex said grimly. That's exactly what they think. And for now, let's not correct their mistake. We need time to prepare. As they walked back to their quarters, Alex noticed several Council security officers watching them. The game had begun, and humanity was playing for its survival. The U.S. Intrepid slipped through space, using the gravitational fields of nearby stars to mask its approach to the Guy-Rathi homeworld. On the bridge, Admiral Reeves watched the view screen as the red giant star grew larger. "Status report," he ordered quietly. "The diversion is working," Carter replied from her tactical station. "Long-range sensors show most of the Guy-Rathi fleet has moved to engage Commander Vowell and XO Mitchell at the shipyard." "Atlas, what about the control hub's defenses?" The AI's hologram appeared. "Still substantial, Admiral. 8 capital ships and 16 defensive platforms." Reeves nodded. It wouldn't be easy, but they had come too far to turn back now. "Take us in, maximum stealth approach." As they neared the massive space station, Reeves prepared a small strike team. He would lead them himself, along with Chief Engineer Rodriguez, Zeiler, and 4 security officers. Their mission was to reach the central core of the ancient AI, while the Intrepid kept the defending ships busy. "Last transmission from the diversionary fleet," Carter reported. "They've engaged the enemy, but are taking heavy losses." Reeves closed his eyes briefly. Mitchell and Vowell were buying them time with their lives. "Bring us into position," he ordered. "Prepare to deploy the strike team." The Intrepid accelerated suddenly, charging toward the space station. The defending ships scrambled to intercept, but they were too slow. The human warship launched its attack, phase disruptors firing with precision at the station's hangar base. "Shields at 60%. Carter called out as return fire struck the Intrepid. "Hold position," Reeves commanded. "Deploy strike team." A small shuttle launched from the Intrepid, speeding toward a breach in the station's outer hull. Inside, Reeves and his team prepared their weapons. "The shuttle will return to the Intrepid once we're inside," he told them. "We have 2 hours to reach the core and disable the eye." They docked at the breach and entered the station. The corridors were eerily quiet. "Most of the crew has been called to defend against us," Zeiler explained. "But the internal security systems will be active." As if on cue, automated defense turrets emerged from the walls. The team took cover as energy blasts filled the corridor. "Rodriguez, can you hack their systems?" Reeves asked. "Working on it," the engineer replied, connecting his device to a nearby terminal. Meanwhile, on the Intrepid, Lieutenant Nelson had taken command. She skillfully maneuvered the ship between enemy vessels, preventing them from concentrating their fire. "Atlas, can you reach Admiral Reeves?" she asked as another hit rocked the ship. "Negative. There's interference from the station's systems." Inside the station, Reeves and his team fought their way deeper, following Ziller's directions toward the central core. They encountered scattered resistance but pushed through. Finally, they'd reached a massive chamber. In its center floated a pulsating crystalline structure connected to countless conduits and cables. "That's it," whispered Zeiler. "The ancient eye." As they approached, a door hissed open. Supreme Commander Krall stepped into the chamber, weapon raised. "I knew you would come here," he said, his yellow eyes blazing with anger. "Did you think I would leave our most sacred site undefended?" "This isn't your sacred site," Reeves replied, lowering his weapon slightly. "It's your prison. You're being controlled, just like everyone else." Krall hesitated. "Lies. Look around you," Reeves urged. "Why would your ancestors build a control system to dominate their own minds?" As doubt crept into Krall's eyes, Atlas spoke through Rodriguez's communicator. "Admiral, I can interface with the AI, but I need direct access. Rodriguez stepped forward, but Krail raised his weapon again. Wait, Reeves said. Commander Krall, your people weren't always conquerors. This machine changed you. Help us free your species. A long moment passed before Krall lowered his weapon. What must I do? With Krall's help, they reached the central interface. Rodriguez connected Atlas to the ancient system, and a silent battle of artificial intelligences began. Throughout the Empire, the psychic control field flickered and died. On countless worlds, enslaved species felt their minds clear for the first time in generations. The Gyarathi fleet stopped fighting, confusion spreading among crews suddenly freed from centuries of influence. 3 days later, Admiral Reeves stood on the bridge of the damaged but intact Intrepid as it began its long journey home. Message from Earth, sir, Communications Officer Patil announced. They've received our transmissions. They're eager to meet our new allies. Reeves smiled as he looked at the view screen, where ships from dozens of species, including Gyarathi vessels, accompanied them as an honor guard. Tell them we're bringing friends, he said, and a whole new galaxy.